1. White bread and refined grains. I was 68 when I first noticed it. Not a big dramatic moment, just something subtle. I'd get out of bed, drink my morning coffee, eat my usual breakfast, but instead of feeling ready to face the day, I felt like crawling back under the covers. My body wasn't sick, my blood tests were normal, and yet, I was tired. All the time. I chalked it up to age. You're not 40 anymore, I'd tell myself. But deep down, I knew this wasn't just aging. It was something else, something quieter, hiding in plain sight. And as I began to pay closer attention, I found the culprits. Right there on my plate. Every morning, I used to toast a slice of white bread, slather it with butter, and call it breakfast. It was quick, familiar, comforting. But by 10 a.m., I'd be yawning uncontrollably and reaching for another coffee. Turns out, refined grains like white bread spike your blood sugar quickly, then crash it just as fast. After 60, our insulin sensitivity decreases, meaning our bodies don't process sugar as efficiently. According to the American Diabetes Association, more than 25% of adults over 65 have diabetes, and many more are pre-diabetic without knowing it. That crash? That foggy, drained feeling? It was my body begging for more balanced fuel. Swapping white bread for whole grains helped stabilize my mornings and my mood. If you've ever felt that sudden crash after breakfast, you're not alone. Small changes can restore big energy. If this resonates with you, please like this video, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe. We're building this journey together, one story at a time. 2. Sugary yogurts and breakfast foods. For years, I thought I was being healthy with my low-fat strawberry yogurt each morning. It tasted sweet, felt light, and made me feel like I was doing something right. But when I actually read the label, I was stunned 18 grams of sugar in a tiny cup. That's more than 4 teaspoons. As we age, our mitochondria, the powerhouses of our cells, become less efficient. High sugar loads only make them work harder, leading to cellular fatigue and slower energy production. Dr. Caroline Apovian from Harvard says that excessive sugar leads to chronic inflammation and energy depletion, especially in older adults. I didn't realize it at the time, but I was basically sabotaging my mornings with something labeled healthy. Now I make my own plain yogurt with fresh berries and a sprinkle of cinnamon. Still delicious, but my energy lasts longer than just an hour. A small shift made a big difference in how I feel all day long. 3. Processed meats. Sausage was my Sunday treat. Just 2 slices, crisped in the pan, paired with eggs and toast. It felt innocent enough, a small indulgence from a long life of restraint. But after breakfast, I'd often feel oddly sluggish, bloated, tired. My energy dipped instead of rising. I thought it was the eggs. Or maybe just age. But I was wrong. Processed meats, bacon, sausage, ham, deli slices are loaded with nitrates, sodium, and chemical preservatives. These ingredients don't just raise blood pressure. They increase chronic inflammation, the silent fatigue that builds in the background of our lives. And chronic inflammation, I later learned, is one of aging's most consistent energy thieves. According to a study in the Journal of Nutrition, Health and Aging, older adults who regularly consumed processed meats scored lower on cognitive tests and reported higher levels of fatigue. It wasn't just in my head, it was in my bloodstream. The food I loved was draining me, slowly and quietly. The strangest part? I didn't feel sick. I just felt dulled. I started skipping breakfast, thinking maybe I needed more fasting, but that left me weaker. It wasn't about skipping meals, it was about choosing better ones. I replaced sausage with avocado toast or eggs with sautéed spinach. And I noticed the shift in just a few days. Less bloating, clearer thinking. A steady kind of energy I hadn't felt in years. Giving up sausage wasn't about punishment, it was about protection. My body didn't need strict rules. It needed relief, nourishment, peace. And when I gave it those things, it thanked me with energy. We often treat food as comfort, and that's okay. But there's a difference between comfort and cost. When a food leaves you feeling worse instead of better, it's not comfort. It's compromise. And after 60, we can't afford to ignore the cost of energy. Every bite counts. If this story hits home, don't keep it to yourself. Leave a comment below. Your experience might help someone else make a change. And if you're finding value in these insights, please like this video and subscribe. We're learning together, one meal at a time. 4. Caffeine after 2 p.m. Coffee was my constant companion. Morning, mid-morning, even after lunch, a comforting ritual that followed me into my 60s. It felt harmless, familiar. But one night, I lay wide awake at 2 a.m., heart racing, mind spinning, staring at the ceiling. That night turned into many. I told myself it was stress, or getting older. Sleep just changes, I reasoned, but deep down I knew. The espresso I enjoyed after dinner, the one I thought didn't affect me, was still in my system, hours later. I was sabotaging my own rest. As we age, our liver's ability to metabolize caffeine slows down. What used to clear from the system in 5 hours can now linger for 8 or more. That means a 3 p.m. cup might still be nudging your nervous system at midnight. The stimulant becomes a thief, stealing rest quietly. And poor sleep is no small matter. According to the Sleep Foundation, nearly 48% of adults over 65 experience insomnia symptoms. But it's not always the stress or the age. Sometimes, it's that seemingly innocent afternoon coffee or soda. Once I cut caffeine after 2 p.m., things began to shift. My sleep improved, not just longer hours, but deeper rest. I started waking up with a sense of calm instead of a fog. My mornings became mine again, not borrowed from exhaustion. The fix was simple, but the impact was profound. Chamomile tea, warm milk, or even decaf became my evening companions. Small adjustments, big difference. It wasn't about giving something up, it was about giving something back, my peace. If you've made it this far, you're part of the rare few who truly pay attention. That's powerful. You're not just watching, you're learning, protecting, and healing. You're part of something bigger here. Like this video, share your thoughts, and let's keep this wisdom flowing forward. 5. Fried and greasy foods. I used to love a good plate of fries, golden, crispy, salty, comforting. It reminded me of weekend diners, quick lunches with friends, and late-night snacks during road trips. But lately, every time I indulged, I felt like I was moving in slow motion afterward, tired, sluggish, almost sedated. At first, I blamed it on the meal being too heavy. I thought maybe it was just my body's way of digesting slower as I got older. But the truth was deeper than that. Fried foods, rich in unhealthy fats, don't just sit in your stomach longer. They actually impair circulation and trigger inflammation across the body. Trans fats, common in many fried snacks, interfere with cellular energy production. As our metabolism naturally slows with age, it becomes even harder for the body to break down greasy foods efficiently. The result? Fatigue that lingers for hours, even after small meals. A study published in the American Journal of Clinical Nutrition found that adults over 60 who regularly consumed fried foods had significantly lower endurance and slower cognitive response times. It wasn't just about digestion, it was affecting how well I thought, how quickly I moved, and how alive I felt. The hardest part wasn't giving them up. It was rethinking what comfort food meant. Could something still be satisfying without weighing me down? I started experimenting. Baked sweet potato wedges, roasted chickpeas, lightly sautéed vegetables. The results surprised me. Not only did I feel less bloated, but I started experiencing more consistent energy. No more post-meal crashes. My skin even looked clearer. I didn't need extreme diets or cutting out entire food groups, just smarter choices. Choices that gave me life instead of taking it. Fried food isn't evil, but after 60, the cost is higher. Our bodies need every bit of vitality we can offer. So now, when I crave fries, I ask myself, do I want flavor or fuel? Sometimes I still go for flavor. But now, I do it knowing exactly what I'm trading. 6. High-sodium soups and packaged foods. There was a time when a can of soup felt like a small victory. No chopping, no dishes, just heat, eat, and move on. But what I didn't see, what none of us really see, is the sodium. Silent, invisible, and often sky-high. A single serving held over 1,000 milligrams, and I was eating 2. I began noticing things. My ankles were swelling, my rings felt tight, and I was always thirsty, even after meals. I dismissed it as heat or poor hydration. But deep down, I felt heavier, not in weight, but in my body's rhythm, like it was retaining something it couldn't release. As we age, our kidneys don't filter sodium as efficiently. Excess salt doesn't just lead to thirst, it raises blood pressure, stresses the heart, and causes fluid retention. According to the CDC, 9 in 10 adults over 60 consume more sodium than recommended, often without realizing it. And it's not just soups. Packaged foods, frozen dinners, sauces, dressings, they're all hiding sodium in plain sight. Even items labeled healthy or low-fat can be salt bombs. I checked a frozen healthy stir-fry, nearly 1,500 milligrams in one meal. That's the entire day's worth in one go. I made small changes. Swapped store-bought soup for homemade batches, seasoned with herbs instead of salt. Bought unsalted versions and added my own pinch. The difference? Within weeks, I had more energy, less bloating, and clearer focus. Even my sleep improved. Food didn't stop being convenient, I just made it work for me. Now my freezer holds containers of homemade lentil soup, veggie stew, and chicken broth. All low sodium, all made with care. Not every day is perfect, but each one feels a little lighter. If any of this sounds familiar, you're not alone. We've all been tricked by the easy meal, but now you know better, and that's power. Drop a comment below if you've noticed how salt sneaks into your meals. And if this helped, like the video and join our journey. Together, we eat wiser. 7. Evening glass of wine or 2. Every night around 7 p.m., I'd pour a small glass of red wine. It felt civilized, a reward after a long day. Doctors said red wine could be heart healthy, right? But over time, that one glass became 2, sometimes more. And something started to change. I was waking up groggy. My thoughts were slower, my mornings less clear. I blamed age, of course. What else? But then I skipped the wine for a few days, and I felt better, lighter, more alert. I realized the wine wasn't helping me unwind. It was weighing me down. Even small amounts of alcohol affect sleep, especially after 60. It interrupts REM cycles, causes dehydration, and can leave you feeling foggy well into the next day. According to the National Institute on Aging, even one drink can reduce sleep quality in older adults by over 20%. I didn't give it up entirely, but I made a change. I saved wine for special occasions and found new nightly rituals. Chamomile tea, soft music, journaling, and the difference? My energy returned. My skin looked clearer. I smiled more in the mornings. This wasn't about guilt or punishment. It was about clarity. About making choices that served me, not out of fear, but out of self-respect. Aging didn't have to mean slowing down. But it did mean listening more closely to what helped and what didn't. If you've seen a piece of yourself in any of these stories, take a moment for yourself. Like this video, leave a comment, and subscribe. Let's not age in silence. Let's age aware. With intention, with strength, with community. You've just learned which foods might be draining your energy. But do you know what daily habits can help restore it? Tap the video on your screen. How to stay happy and healthy after 70 to 5 key tips. Let's keep growing together.